Listener discretion is advised.
It's time for another Steel Revolution podcast. Please keep in mind that the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers. Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, this is Steel Revolution.
All right, hello, podcast listeners. Welcome to Steel Revolution 22. Nope, it's July 22nd.
I'm keeping this in.
We're just gonna redo that, Shawn.
Oh, we are now.
Okay, yeah. That's what you'd do if you screwed up.
Well, yeah.
I'll edit that out. Welcome to Steel Revolution 109.
2-2? Start over. I'm sorry. That's funny.
That's 109, Shawn.
Oh, 109. That's right. Sorry about that, buddy.
This whole thing's going to be off because you didn't do what you normally do.
Uh-oh.
It's all going to be off.
What's that?
The whole podcast.
Oh, no, I'm putting the whole thing through.
Because you didn't do your 109 like you normally
No,
do.
109.
Okay.
And I said 2-2 in reference to what you just did. Because I'm keeping that in there.
Thanks, Shawn.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So let's dive right into the local news. What else could go wrong?
Oh, we're live?
Who are you?
What? What are you talking about?
We're messing him up all over the place now.
I'm Lee Schaefer.
I'm Mike Nicholas.
Sean Geisens.
I got people with me. See?
Do you want to start over? I'm asking. Do you want to start over?
Nope.
All right.
No, we're going now.
All right.
We're just going to keep on going.
Right off the tracks.
The dumpster
Old.
fire.
Yeah. It's all uphill from here.
Let's go.
All right. For those of you that received or did not receive your dependent audit, reach out to the hall. We can help you if you need help. So most everybody got 2 of them in the mail. We know that there is definitely a possible 10-day lag on getting your information submitted and uploaded to be verified. Again, this is mainly your wife or your domestic partner. We have not seen any children or any other
Dependents.
any other dependents get audited. So reminder that if you guys do need any help, reach out to the hall. We can help you fax that stuff in. Then plus we have a confirmation of it in case something goes wrong.
And it is due by next Sunday. So
Yeah, so please reach out to us if you haven't. We are asking that the company extends that out at least a few weeks because of the lag in getting those processed. New hires, we've had 2 rounds of new hires since the company started hiring again. So a reminder, we had 14 on June 27th, and then we had another 15 on July 11th. All of those new hires signed union cards, so they are all new members. Next group is next Monday, and just make sure you're watching out for our new employees, union members. Train them right, keep them safe, train them like our benefits depend on it, because they do.
they do.
Grievances related to contract. We got a email, I don't know if it was a week ago or so, from the company stating that they agreed with both us and Lafayette that filed grievances related to the vacation rate, meaning you should not get paid less than what your hourly wage is when you're on vacation. All that came about with the 7% raise from this contract. It was really noticeable. So anyway, they reached out, said that they agreed with us. We kind of held off with the way payroll stuff is going, just to wait and see when it actually happened. And it did for last week. I know I saw mine on my check. It was at the bottom. There were some R's next to the lines, and it showed where they backed out the old and put in the new pay to reflect what it should have been. So anyway, you guys should see that on the check or today's check. And again, it should be at the bottom. It should be noticeable. Speaking of payroll, again, if you have payroll issues, reach out to the hall. They seem to be somewhat dying down,
Yeah.
I'd say. So hopefully we're on the good side of this issue and moving forward in a good direction. Hopefully, we had Dan do some work. I know Clayton was down at the hall, wanting to know how you can figure out either your match portion or the company match of your 401k. We gave a bunch of information to Dan. Dan broke it out, put in the Forerunner, how we can actually see it if we go to the Fidelity website. And again, that information was in the Forerunner. Following that, there seems to be some people that were confused, misled. Maybe they had the wrong information, or maybe we just have people that we gotta educate our membership on what our actual benefits are. So again, it's they're matching 75% of the first 6% you put in. So it's only 75% of the 6%. It's not 100% of the 6%. It's nothing other than that. If you look in the contract book, our latest contract book, there's a letter from 2001 where that happened, and those letters, some of them letters are not in the book, but they ended up getting put in our contract book. So again, proof from 2001 that it's been that way.
No, so give an example, Roy. So if I want to
Shawn
get,
had the example.
if I want to get their maximum but put my minimum in,
It's 6%.
I put 6%
You put in
in
6%.
and they're giving me what?
75% of
Which is?
that's 6%.
Can we do math?
No, I don't know what you're asking me
4.
4%. Yeah. So you put in 6, they're going to give you 4. That's the most you're ever going to get out of them. You can put in 20, you're still only going to get the 4. So that confuses some people too. So again, put the 6 in. It's free money. Their money is free money as long as you put in the 6.
Well, and we were talking about where some of this could have came from. Everybody's always said, put in 6 so you get the maximum.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's true. It's certainly a true statement, and you're throwing away free money if you don't put in 6. But I think people took that 6 as, okay, I'm 6 and that's the maximum, so it's 100%,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
and it was confusing.
You're right.
And then also, what was on their billboard before they
Correct.
just changed it?
That they would match 6%.
Yeah. So what is a match of 6%? To me, that's
6%.
I'm only going to match 6% of whatever the total amount you put
That's
in
right.
is. So
That's right.
if you put in a total amount of whatever, I'm only thinking you're only matching 6%.
Or you could
Of
look
that.
at it. You could look at it as we got some out at the one job fair of, if I put in 6, they'll put in 6, and that's not right either. So they were misleading people as well. So we're just trying to get that back on track.
Again, we're if you haven't noticed, between this podcast, Facebook, the Forerunner,
This is for everybody. Everybody can put this in. Everybody can get this match.
right?
Nobody's excluded. No group is excluded from this.
Yep.
So good. Glad you brought that up.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up.
So yeah, so like we said, so if you haven't noticed, we're putting more information out. What happens when you put more information out? There's the better chance of somebody saying, "Oh, that's not how I thought it was." So what we're also going to do is follow up on, hey, here's where this comes from, and try to give history. So be looking in the Forerunner. We're gonna try to pull together the so-called history of the 401k. Problem is, there's probably 2 or 3 people that actually know it off the top of their head, and for us to try to find it, it's going to take some time. So, but we will be doing that. We'll be sharing that history in the Forerunners and trying to make sure people understand what they have throughout that. So, again, you're going to get a match of 75% of your first 6%.
Yep. And if you still don't understand or have questions, give us a call.
Yeah, and talk to Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan can
help you.
Dan knows better, because
I agree.
I was lost with how he figured it out, but it seemed to make sense to somebody like Clayton. And again, what we talk about Clayton, no old timer ever came down here and said, well, I don't think that's right. I think it was 100%. So again, there was miscommunication. Maybe it's how we're presenting it when we say whatever, put in the 6% to get the most. But none of the old timers thought that was ever wrong. So again, it must be towards the newer end here of our membership. But again, like I said, we're dedicated to getting that history out and making sure our membership understands the benefits they have.
Absolutely.
And to go along with Dan, if you do want to call him and talk to him or have him help you set up your retirement, his office hours are 6:30 to 2:30 Monday through Friday. He is currently on vacation and due back, is it Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday of next week. Union Golf Tournament, August 11th. Show up at 8. Shotgun start at 8:30. $200 entry fee. Must be in by 8/3. So be in 2 weeks from, or a week from next Wednesday.
Yep.
So make sure you get that in if you want to participate. Another thing, the restroom noise or the complaints on how the restrooms are at the plant seem to have been gone down some.
It's getting
recently
better. There's more work going on with the joint committee on that.
So I know for a while it was just in the toilet, so.
We have more work going on with it, though. Wow.
Know what else is on the toilet, Shawn?
My puns.
This show.
It got off on a bad start, but we're in the right direction now.
I hope so.
Hey, there was only one way to go.
Yeah.
I disagree. That's okay.
I agree with Mike, but
PFP is in the toilet, but again, we do not have that anymore. But in case you guys missed it, we believed we would have had a shot at either the first 2 months or the first month and a half of the second quarter. But again, there is no PFP for the second quarter. So we'll get into a little bit of one of the reasons why later on here in the podcast. Forgot to say with our other retiree stuff, but retiree healthcare premiums are $120 a month per person. Those are kept low by a fund. And if you would remember back in 19, that fund was going to be solvent for about 12 more years, they figured. And again, after that 12 years, the prices would have went significantly up for our retirees. So the union and the company agreed in the 2019 contract to research a different plan for our retirees. So the Humana plan came out of that. So while there is and a part of that was that the premiums would go up some, again, to help that fund stay solvent. So now with the Humana plan and some modest increases in premiums, that plan is projected to last another 25 to 30 years. And the other good point about that is the plan offers more. There is more in that plan. The big one is you used to have to pay $89 per person for a med option. And that gave you some extra coverage, especially if you were in the hospital, I believe, hospital stays, surgery, so on and so forth. That is included in this new plan. So that is free to those guys. So there was some miscommunication, misinterpretation that there was something hidden in this contract and retiree healthcare was going up. It was not. There was nothing hidden that had something to do with what was what was agreed to in 19 and later agreed to. I believe was in 2020 that retirement retiree healthcare plan was agreed to. So again, that was some miscommunication and misinterpretation. So we wanted to clear that up. Lee. Veterans of Steel, what's going on?
So we're looking to start up a Veterans of Steel committee. So we're looking for any veterans out there. So if you're a veteran or know any veterans in the plant, call down to the hall and give us your name and number. We're looking to start it up. Just kind of a few things that we'll be covering. during these committee meetings is, we want to help qualified veterans out in the community get good union jobs, help veterans deal with mental health and other issues, to include PTSD and things like that. So really we want to get out there and not just in the community, but for any veterans that are out at the plant, if they need any help getting any veterans benefits or anything like that, we want to be able to be a helping hand in doing that. So we do have a joint committee with the company right now, and I'm still all for doing a couple of the things we do with the company, but honestly, we get a lot of our members are part of these committees, and it seems like the company gets a lot of the accolades for
Yeah,
it. So,
absolutely, they do.
We feel like we are a bigger part of those committees, so that's why we want to do it down here and kind of get our name out there that, hey, we have a lot of veterans that work out here that are members, and we need that recognition. So anyway, call down to the hall, and actually, and when you call down here, we have a number you can text to, and you can get a Veterans of Steel hard hat sticker, and you can get a dog tag as well. So
Do you have to be a veteran to join our committee, Lee?
yes. Pat said you don't, but I think he was trying to say that. I think he's trying to have a dig at me, but
Say, I didn't think you had to be a veteran to join the company's committee. Anybody could join. I know that for a fact.
why, Pat's not a veteran?
I'm not going that far, but I do know that for a fact.
No, I'm pretty sure it's, I guess we wouldn't be opposed to anyone that's not a veteran coming on the committee
Yeah, I
and
mean, if
helping.
you support.
Sure. But this is supposed to be a committee that's driven by veterans. But yeah, if you're not a veteran,
So if you're not a veteran, you could still help at,
Sure,
at,
sure,
at something
absolutely.
you guys
At the
do,
events, yeah.
but
Yep.
maybe not be just an active member of the committee
Sure,
because it's
sure.
for vets.
sure.
Okay. If you are a recent new hire, you will have noticed that on your July 4th holiday, if you did not work it, you didn't get paid for it. There's been some changes, of course, in our contract language that with 1 day seniority, you get that holiday pay. So obviously something wasn't working in the background there, but you should have received that pay on your following check.
Yep.
Back to Lee for an update on free college.
So we got some news on the free college benefit. Back in November, we had someone out here to give a presentation on some free college benefits USW members can get and their families. We were made aware of some news today that that benefit's actually getting put on hold. The program is. Specifically, they're not accepting any new applications. It's actually the Department of Education has put a hold on it. So the International is looking into those that are already enrolled and how they will be affected. What we're asking is if you have anyone, yourself or any of your family members or anything, are currently enrolled in it, call down to the hall. We are forwarding names to the International so they can look at their status to see where they're at and how we can go forward from this. It's pretty recent news, so we're kind of working through it as it comes. So.
All right, thanks, Lee. In some local area news and news that has something to do here with the local, Casey Wages was honored July 15th at the River Bandits game. We did some Facebook Live from that, so you guys could see it. Definitely a great recovery. Congratulations to Casey.
Mm-hmm.
And you have anything else from that, Lee?
No, it's pretty cool seeing him walk out in the field and walk down the third baseline and walk down the first a little bit, and then took some pictures at home plate. So it was pretty cool. I think, was that his grandkid that came out with him and took some pictures too, I think, or at least as a kid, I assume it was his grandkid. So yeah, that was pretty neat.
So yeah, he's doing well. I mean, I'm sure he's still got a ways to go, and we'll see if keep you up to date if there's any way this membership can help him out in the future. So be on the lookout for anything. with some other news that's going around the country. During the first 3 quarters of or during the first 9 months of the fiscal year of 2022, which is October 1 through June 30th, union petitions were up 1,935 from 1,240 during the first 3 quarters of fiscal year 2022. So the union election petitions are up again 58%. To go along with that, unfair labor practices have increased from almost 11,500 to a little over 13,000, or sorry, 11,000 up to 13,000. So, but also the National Labor Relations Board is short on people and understaffed. So we'll see what happens there, but it's definitely a good sign that more people are trying to start a union at their workplace.
Agreed.
Anything else on that? All right, so a hot topic at the plant is mixed scrap. We have a part of that article was, or part of the letter or communication that went out from plant manager. Talked about a Century aluminum plant in Howesville, Kentucky. They are USW represented location. I've done some union training with the president from down there. So we did reach out to him, and he was gracious enough to make some time for us yesterday. Me and Mike did an interview with him. So we will play the interview here shortly, but thought we should talk about mixed scrap, and especially since Lee's here. Lee's got a different perspective than most of us. So we'll let you take it away, Lee.
Yeah, so Century Aluminum, they make our 202 pig. They're one of the main suppliers of 202 pig for us. And what that is, we use that for high purity charges. So because we're going to have a lack of that, they're going to be making sure that we only use the 202 pig on high purity charges. So typically what would happen is if we go off grade or off analysis on a charge, we would use 202 to try to correct that charge. So because there's going to be a lack of it, there's going to have to be decisions made on what they want to do with if we go off analysis. Do we want to waste that 202 pig, or do we just want to scrap the drop? So that's something the company's going to have to make decisions on. As far as the rest of the plant, we need to make sure we don't have mixed scrap so that we don't have off analysis and have to use 202 pig to try to correct that. As I believe the numbers was 3.7, don't quote me, for off analysis for the month, which is usually only about 1.5. So we're a lot higher than we normally are. And, you know, as that email stated and from Steve Jennings, that, you know, this could possibly affect jobs down the road if we don't get a handle on this. We do, in ingot plant, we do make sure we segregate the different alloys, the high purity alloys, so that we're not using them on other charges to kind of sweeten them. So we just need to make sure there's no mixed scrap. That's how everyone can help.
Segregate everything.
Yep.
So when you lose a drop, that could cost customers' orders to be filled.
Yep.
Could cost you new business. When you have to sweeten a bad drop, and let's say you run out of the high purity pig. What do you say, 202?
202, yeah.
When you run out of that, then now you can't make your high purity
Correct.
metal,
Correct.
and then that's high revenue stuff you can't get down, and that's going to cost you customers. So it's a really bad situation to be in, right, Lee?
Yep.
And this is something we can affect. So
Yep.
segregate all your scrap.
We did talk to the company. We're hoping to get every department to get some kind of presentation out there to kind of inform people exactly how critical and important this is to not just the business here, but jobs. Ultimately, jobs. It's, you know, it could slow down new employees coming in to get hired. Could lower our work hours in a week. It could, you know, actually get people laid off if possible. You know, so it's something we need to take serious and everyone needs to focus on mixed scrap, absolutely.
And it's not only mixed, but it's mislabeled also.
Yeah, we learned
Yeah.
that today.
So, I mean, I know when I hired in, I was in sheet. So I was on either end of sheet when I hired in, and we always took off the old tub markers. If something was on there, we'd take them off,
Yep.
whether it's a tub marker on a tub or a tub marker on a pipe rack. They were always taken off and a new one put back on. So that's at least part of it that could be happening. So, if you're out there, put on a new one, because if it's got two different alloys on it, now you're guessing what alloy is actually on there. And for those that say, I've got 15 years, I've got 10 years, the layoff's not going to hit me, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen first. They're going to reduce hours first over anything. And that's going to affect everybody.
Yep.
So again, it's not a good place to be. I forgot, did any of you guys do any research on Ford? Ford laid off, we're being told 8,000.
I did not get to look at that today.
Maybe we'll play the interview after we're done with this, and then we'll see
Come
what's
back.
there. But I mean these companies, and you think everything's going good. Well, it might not be going that good. And for Arconic, a lot of people, and for the longest time, it was either too big to fail or made money in spite itself. No matter what happened. Well, it's a different company now.
Yep.
It's a lot smaller. There's less revenue there to get because it's a lot smaller. And our master goes to show what do we used to have in the master? Might you recall off the top of your head?
It was over 10,000 employees or members.
Yeah, and how
So,
many locations?
Oh,
Roughly 12 or so.
Yeah, there were, and that one time there was more than that. So
And now you're down to 4.
4
so
and 3,000.
So
Yeah.
things are changing, and like we said, we all have a piece to play in this. There are people that thought I can mix that scrap. Well, you can't. You can't do it because it causes headache down in the ingot plant. And I mean, what does it do to the employees down there, Lee, when they have to try to fix something? Are they out in the heat more?
Oh, sure,
It makes their job way harder,
Yep,
right?
COs have to get back out in the heat in front of the furnaces and make corrections. We have to, sometimes these corrections takes a lot of pigs, so it's a lot more work for the, our CC scale to get all that together, and then, the COs are out there in front of the heat, in front of the melters and in front of the holders. So, just we all need to work together and do our part to try to make sure this is going the right way.
Right. Nobody's going to like the outcome
No.
if it keeps on going. So, again, do your part. If you have any questions, reach out to a union rep. Reach out to your coaches. Coaches that are listening, be aware that you might have some people asking you, what's going on.
I agree.
So, with that being said, we got an interview with Andy Meserve. Again, he's the local union president of the local that represents the employees at that Century Aluminum plant that shut down. We'll listen to the interview from him. We'll see if we can find some stuff on the Ford layoff, and then we'll wrap up the show. All right, joining us on the podcast today is Andy Meserve. He's the president of USW Local 9423, representing employees at Century Aluminum's Howesville smelter, located along the Ohio River in Hancock County, Kentucky. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Andy.
Oh, thanks for having me, Roy.
Understand, we had you on once before to talk, but that's been quite a while ago. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in labor and how you got to be president of the local?
Okay, well, I'm an 18-year employee with Century Aluminum. I was a steel worker prior to working for Century. I worked for Green River Steel Mill in Owensboro, Kentucky. It closed in 98. I was 3 years there as a steel worker. I was right out of vocational school, technical school. My background is machine tool, machine shop maintenance, industrial maintenance type stuff. After it closed, I bounced around to several different places, an iron foundry, aluminum plants, and then wound up settling in a smelter. It was Century. So basically all I know is hot metal and maintenance work. That's all I've done since I was early 20s. My experience with the union, I'm now local president, been president for 7 years. I was vice president for a term before that, subcontracting committee with maintenance. I was also, subcontracting with the whole plant, maintenance grievance committeeman, and then shop steward. I work production and maintenance at my plant, so that's my background. I've been heavily involved with the local ever since I started coming to union meetings, and my union beliefs run real deep.
Thanks, Andy. Your plant has been brought up at our plant due to the work you guys do there with the high purity aluminum. From all of us up here, we're sorry to hear about your plant shutting down. That's awful. Tell us a little bit about the work your members do down there.
Okay, well, I appreciate the sentiment. We appreciate that. Yeah, well, we're a smelter. We smelt aluminum from ore, from a raw material, raw product, and we make a sow. A sow is, like I said, it's just a product that's traded internationally on the LME. It's got a set price, so and when we cast them, we're subject to whatever the LME says. So that's got us restrained. When power costs go up, coke goes up, pitch goes up, that subtracts from those margins on what it costs to make a sow. So power tripled in the last 2 or 3 months, and caused the company to announce a temporary curtailment. That's what they're calling it, temporary. They're telling us they could restart if they can get power, and the LME and everything stays where it's at. They want to start back up.
Okay, so Andy, about how many members were impacted by the shutdown?
We had 521 members when the warn notice came out. 2015, there was a layoff that a downturn in the market. The LME went to like 1,400. We were at 540 then. We went down to a 2-line operation, went down to 160 members. And then in 2017, when the tariffs were passed, the company started lines back up, and we went to a 4-line operation, and we were gradually hired all this time, and we got back up to 120.
Was this announcement? I mean, was in the choice to shut down? Was it a surprise? I mean, was business really good?
Yeah, it did come out as a surprise. I mean, business was really good. The company the Howesville plant was doing very well. We had come through a lot of growing pains since 2017 with these lines, hiring all these new employees, all the training. The company invested into making new jobs, creating trainers, and really invested in the workforce. And they were really coming on. We had every pot on 4 lines running. We were full complement. We were doing very well. The plant manager brought myself and my vice president, Danny Payne, into an office and said, "Hey, look, we're concerned about power. Just want to let you know what's going on." A week later, I'm told, "Hey, we're cutting pots out on line 5." And by the end of the day, that was on a Thursday. By the end of Friday, they're just like, "Hey, we're going to cut half the line out." And then by the end of the day, Friday, we're taking this whole line down. And then about 4 or 5 days later, "Hey, here's a warning notice. We're completely curtailing the plant." So yeah, it came really fast, and it was pretty well a shock.
Wow. So I know this was fairly recent, but what effect has the shutdown had on the membership, the community, and your local as a whole? Are there other good paying jobs around the area?
We're very fortunate here in Hancock County, Davis County, in this area, in southern Indiana and western Kentucky. There's a lot of plants. There's another aluminum smelter, an Alcoa Warwick steelworker plant, Local 104. That they have a smelter. They're hiring. The rolling mill, bought by Kaiser. They're hiring. You know, there's a Clifton. It used to be AK Steel plant. It's Cliffs something now. They're a steel mill that's in our region. They're hiring. So a lot of our crafts people are able to pick up work. Like I said, there's Century owns another smelter that's about 60 miles. You know, it's still able to run. They have some other product that it can offset the power cost, so they're able to continue to go. But yeah, our crafts people are doing very well. In Kentucky, we have some distilleries and some bottling factories and stuff for bourbon, so that's a big deal down here. So that industry's strong, and they're unionized. They're UFCW, so they're good union jobs. But so people are able to go to work, but I don't know that there's enough work out there for 500 people.
Is there any word about when you guys might restart?
Well, the company's telling us this is a temporary curtailment, and we went into effects bargaining. You know, I threw Article 25 on the table, plain closure language, and they pushed it back and said, this is not a closure. We're not talking about severances or any of that stuff. We're not closing. But they did sit down and negotiated a pretty good deal with us to continue pension contributions and, extend recall and revocation of seniority. If somebody was to retire during this curtailment, they could, revoke that retirement and come back to work. So we got several things that keeps the door open, keeps windows open for people to come back beyond what our collective bargaining agreement allows for.
Okay, is there any word on the government stepping in?
So the steelworkers, I've talked to Tom Conway a few times, and our district director Larry Ray, and my staff Richard Haas, and we've got some lobbyists working in D.C. Trying to get some sort of alternative power or TVA or government assistance or something like that. But no luck so far with transmission lines. They're unable to divert power. So nothing at the moment, but there are conversations being had with the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, and hopefully they can get something worked out.
With your line shut down now, how big of a process is it to get them back up and running when you guys do get back?
It's a big process. It's going to take a lot of money to restart. They were projected to lose, telling me, $180 million in 10 months. So they thought it would be cheaper to restart than to take those losses over that period of time. So, but it will take a significant amount of money to restart it.
Well, I know, sounds like you guys don't have lack of work or lack of jobs up or down there. I mean, especially for your crafts. I was going to say we've got plenty of craft openings up here. They're hiring production here and there, but crafts we cannot fill. So, if any of your members want to head north to Iowa, let us know. We'll help you out.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'd appreciate that. Send us anything you got. If you got a job fair or a flyer or something, we'd take it. I've been in contact with one of your guys, Daryl Sawyer, or David Sawyer. He's a U.S. president down in Alcoa, Tennessee. He sent me some stuff. They're looking for some people down there, so if people want to relocate. So, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. All the craft jobs, I'm sure, is on the link. But yeah, we're more than happy to bring some steel workers up here.
Well, that'd be great.
Is there anything else we forgot to ask you?
I feel like I've been rambling on and saying a lot. Whatever y'all think y'all need to know. I don't know.
Well, like you said, you've been busy. Definitely had a busy couple of days with your union meetings and everything else going on with the impact of this shutdown. So we'll let you go for now, and just hang on. We'll end the interview right now, though. So, Mike, we did some research. The Ford layoffs has to do with combustion engines, and
Yep.
seems like it's mainly salary.
The majority of it will be salary. They're just trying to cut costs and in their combustion whatever area. I read further in the article they sold 27,000 electric vehicles in 2021. They want that increased to 2 million a year by 2026.
Wow.
So hopefully they'll increase some jobs on our end by then. But yeah,
So hopefully nothing that will affect us at this plant.
yeah, it doesn't look like it from what I read.
Oh, that's good. And Lee, did you have an update on
Yeah,
Veterans of Steel?
I just want to make sure everyone's clear. You don't have to be a veteran to be part of this committee. I thought there was a joke said earlier on one of the other meetings, so that's what I was kind of referring to. But you don't have to be a veteran to be part of this committee.
We appreciate the correction.
Thank you. Thank you. I can admit when I'm wrong. Or when I misspeak, I should say.
Thank you.
So anyway, we're of course back after the interview. Good interview again. Thanks to Andy for taking time out to talk to us. He was busy with business meetings and
Effects bargaining.
effects bargaining, all that good stuff. So again, if they need anything, hopefully they reach out to us. But certainly, as bad as things can get, you don't want to see a plant shut down.
No.
Luckily, they have what seems to be like a lot of where our other plants are. There's a lot of other jobs around, so hopefully everybody affected will be able to find a job. And certainly those crafts people, if you want to come up to Iowa, we shared the link that we use for jobs up here. Production's kind of hit or miss, but any of the production folks, you find a production opening that pops up on that same link, feel free. We'll welcome you up here.
Absolutely.
Hey, Shawn,
Yes, Roy.
where can people find us?
They can find us on our Facebook page at Steel Revolution Podcast, USW Local 105. The iPhone iPad app, which is Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict for Android devices, the Android app, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio app, Spotify app. We're on YouTube, Odyssey app, Libsyn.com, the Local's websites, and then the men's restroom here at Local 105 in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Thank you, Shawn.
Michael, thank you. Oh, excuse me, Mike, thank you.
Much better.
Hey, have you ever listened from the bathroom with one of the pint glasses?
No, I'm in here doing
He's always
this.
been in here.
No, or I guess I should say, do you know anyone that has?
I don't know. You? Do you know anybody?
No.
No, okay.
We're just wrapping up. President Pat, you got something to say?
Job fair today.
Oh, job fair.
Couple more hours.
Couple more hours?
Yep.
If this gets posted right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the job fair will probably be over.
Yeah. You probably could have let Dwyer and Michaels know or something who was live.
Yeah.
Might have worked out better.
He just wanted to be part.
Yeah.
There, the creaking door was Pat. All right, that seems to be it. This was
Thank you.
this got off on a bad foot and seemed to end there too.
Full circle.
We'll try to do better next time.
Yeah.
Until next time, don't forget to say something good about your union.
Every day.
See ya.
Steel Revolution is a podcast by USW Local 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.